Did you ever think about calling your podcast that?
The biggest gathering of losers.
The
two of us.
I think that would have been a great name.
The smallest gathering of losers, just the two of us.
It's
We couldn't even get
losers.
other losers to
Yes,
join.
just two losers.
I have to say, no, we did not consider that, but I have to say, we will.
We will now.
Thank
Pretty good name for a podcast.
It's Sophia Franklin. You are listening to Sophia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal.
Amazing.
Yay.
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 Do we need to get some energy in here? Jesus.
Oh, I was just saying.
We need to do like jumping jacks.
I've been having this horrible stomach problems.
Oh, your
this morning.
your stomach hurts.
I've got a tummy ache.
Okay.
I have a tummy ache, but I'm gonna fight through it. Like,
What
because
kind?
we've been fighting through, the earthquake today.
So
That was a big deal.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
bringing that up.
Yeah.
We are all survivors in this room.
Yes, definitely.
Where were you guys when the earthquake happened? And this happened just a few hours ago, by the way.
I was in the shower and I got out of the shower and I looked down at my phone. And when I looked at my phone, I saw that there was an earthquake because I didn't feel the earthquake.
But
in
your
the shower.
phone knew that it had happened.
Yeah.
And was like, Jason,
Yeah.
you're scared.
There was a note,
Yeah.
aliens are coming notification. that
Yeah, I
came.
got that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like 30 minutes after
Yeah,
the
right.
fact.
It was like beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Yes.
An hour ago, there was an earthquake.
Right.
Like, cool. Thank you. Thank you. I feel so much safer now. Yeah.
You didn't feel it at all.
No.
That seems like a little hard to believe.
You felt it?
So I don't want to make anyone's experience.
Yeah, I feel like you don't diminish my experience.
Like, I don't wanna
'cause it's
diminish
different. Yeah,
yours.
I'm still
I-
dealing with the trauma of it.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Okay.
it's like just like an after effect.
Right.
An aftershock.
aftershock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
It's just
see what you
literally,
guys
it's like
did
I am now
there.
in
Earthquake
shock, right?
terminology,
Yeah.
Richter scale
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
I think my experience maybe was more traumatic. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, what happened?
So I believe the higher up you are, you feel the effects
You feel like
more.
the sway of
Right.
Yeah.
Is that true?
You
I
got to
don't
tell
know.
us. I mean,
I
I was
on the
I was
first
on the
floor.
ground floor. I felt it. I was like, I just didn't even realize I live above a subway station. And then it just kept going, and I was like, I don't live above a subway station.
Okay.
Yeah.
I posted on my story. I want to show you guys actually. Me purchasing a parachute off of Amazon.
Smart.
That is smart.
Mhm.
If you're on the 60 something floor, I feel like having a parachute would help.
Did you provide a link?
I didn't because
Okay.
I need to put it as one of those Amazon affiliates so that I can make money
Got it.
off
Oh,
the
right.
parachute
Okay,
link.
sure,
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, of
Obviously.
course.
But they're like 1,500. Like the parachutes are no joke. They're expensive.
Life-saving.
But are they
stuff,
parachutes
yeah.
some of them you have to be really high up for it to work?
Yeah.
Will this parachute work if you?
I have no clue. I'm gonna
Okay.
YouTube it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna test it once to make sure it works.
You'll know if it works
Yeah.
or not.
Maybe I'll get one of those squirrel suits. You guys have seen those,
I
right?
feel like they're in a
Okay, this
Mission
is-
Impossible movie or
Yeah,
something.
this is starting to make a lot of
Yeah.
sense. I would buy the squirrel suit because that's working right away. It's
Yes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it's not working.
I've
right
heard
away.
there's
Yeah.
been a lot of people who have died doing the squirrel suit thing.
Yes.
yeah,
a
but also
cliff.
a lot of people have died in earthquakes. So
Thank
they were all
you.
squirrel suited up. I don't know that things
People
end
die
up as
tying their
tragically.
shoes too. You got to think about it. Like you could die anytime, man.
It's true.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I can go ahead and give you guys an intro because
Oh sure, yeah, yeah.
that's always something good
40
to
minutes
do.
in, well, yeah. Who the hell are they even?
The earthquake has me all up, like,
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
Same. same.
But Jason and Davram from the Good Liars Tell the Truth podcast, but you're more well known for the Good Liars. It was a show.
Well, it's like we have social media channels and we've done shows and things like that. We also do live shows, but a lot of the stuff we do are videos, interviews, as well as pranks on politicians. We've pranked a lot of politicians over the years.
I looked at everything, and can we jump into the first one on my list? Trump is boring prank.
Yes.
Hopefully someday go back to their homes.
This is boring.
We're bored.
Tell some jokes. This is
Something, entertain us.
This is boring.
Come on. So
But I want you guys to kind of describe to me. No?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how'd you get in there? You guys were like front row while Donald Trump was speaking.
yeah.
Yeah, we got there. We knew we needed to get there a little bit early if we wanted a good spot. And we were in New Hampshire, and it was like negative 10 degrees or some crazy thing in January.
But people were wearing like
People
cargo
wearing
pants.
shorts
Outside
in-
cargo
in,
shorts or whatever.
in line. It
outside.
was like a really interesting crowd. So we knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
We got in there, and we kind of had a couple other plans of things that we might want to do. And we always go in with a couple options. But
I
you
wanna
wait
know.
there in line, and then you wait there for the speakers to start, and then there's like a speaker and another speaker and another speaker, and then Donald Trump, and he does his like favorite lines.
Yeah,
He's gonna build the wall.
He's Hillary. We're gonna Hillary for prison. We're
People
gonna
are so
build the wall.
excited.
Obama, you're gonna be fired. We're
Yeah.
firing you. And it's like the same lines. If you've watched one Trump speech or you've heard him speak, he's just like saying the same stuff over and over again. Everyone in the crowd's loving it.
Yeah.
But after like 30 minutes, Davram turns to me and is like, "I'm so bored right now. This is so boring." And we had like
Gotta
a
do
plan
s- we
to
have
do something at the very
something.
end.
Yeah.
And then we kind of talked about it. We were like, actually, if we like yelled boring right now, that would hurt his feelings worse than
More than
anything.
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 That's what jumped out to me. There's no insult that would hurt Donald Trump more than the boring.
Yes. Yes.
That was
And it
Brilliant.
did. His face like kind of dropped. You can see in the video when he's like, "Am I seriously being called boring in front of all my friends right now?" And then we just kind of kept yelling. We're like, "Entertain us! Like we're
Come
here
on,
to be
tell some
entertained.
jokes,
Yeah,
tell
tell a
some
joke.
jokes."
Like what's going on here?" And we just stuck with it, which is kind of what we ended up doing in some of these pranks. Let's just start repeating it.
Once you start, it's hard to stop.
Yeah,
You gotta
there's
be
no
like,
Bored.
"Fuck it,
Bored.
bored."
Then you guys just started screaming bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
We're
he
bored.
was like, it was interesting because at the beginning of the speech, while he's like saying all of his like lines, we were kind of like egging him on and like saying the lines before him. And then he was like pointing at us being like, "These guys are great. I love these guys."
We were his
Whatever.
buddies for
We were
30
his buddies.
minutes.
Then after this happened, he was like, "Those guys, I hated those guys. They
Yeah.
got a drinking
Problem.
Those
yeah.
guys." And it
tried
was
to
like,
call us drunk.
yeah. It was-
Oh,
yeah.
so he just blamed it on alcoholism. He didn't even see that he was for real getting pranked.
Yeah.
You
he
know
did
when you
not.
see someone who's like totally not willing to look at themselves and
Mm.
improve, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? He was boring. It was true.
Yeah.
But he was
Okay.
not going to accept that. He thought he tried to blame it on a substance abuse problem. I
Right.
guess. Yeah.
But we don't think he does, right? He doesn't drink alcohol.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No, he is boring.
He is-
boring, though.
He definitely can be boring, and we don't know what happens behind closed doors. I'm not putting anything out there. I'm just saying.
I don't think he drinks. If I had to bet,
Alcohol. but
okay, okay,
Substances.
substance,
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
We know he drinks a lot of Diet Coke.
Thank
that can get
you.
you riled up.
I'm
after
from
a while.
Utah. Trust me. If anyone knows that caffeine.
Where
can-
where in
I'm
Utah?
from close to Utah.
Where?
Grand Junction, Colorado.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
where are you from?
Salt Lake City, Utah. But you
Okay.
guys don't have quite the Mormon presence that.
We got a pretty good
Really?
sized Mormon presence.
Is that true?
Yeah,
In Grand Junction?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, big time.
Okay,
Ooh,
but
yeah.
you knew that about Utah.
Oh yeah, the Mormons.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Mormons.
They would come back from their
That's
missions.
not a derogatory thing. Is that not what people? Mormons. I could have said Mormons. I'm getting canceled now. This sucks.
From the Mormons.
Big
out
Mormon's
there.
gonna cancel
Yeah.
me right now.
They won't.
They would come
Yeah.
back from their missions and invite me to church.
Oh.
And, you know, that was always like a
it
hard, tough thing to turn down.
Church of
Mhm.
Latter Day Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a church.
Church of Jesus Christ.
Of Latter-day
Latter-day
Saints.
Saints.
And
Okay.
it's an all-day affair. All-day affair. You're there for a minute.
So you grew up in Mormon.
So I did kind of. So my
Okay.
grandma is Jewish, converted to Mormonism,
Okay.
which is
You don't
just
find a lot of those.
you
I don't. think,
for my grandpa. Then they left Argentina and went to Buenos Aires, Argentina to Orem, Utah.
Okay.
So
That
a-
you find a lot of, I think. That's probably a pretty common transplant if you're.
That was some culture shock for
Yeah.
them. And then, but then my mom threw me in private Catholic school my whole life.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
So I'm a little bit fucked up.
You're well
Oh,
versed.
cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
See, this is the therapy I need.
Just trying to build you up. Yeah.
Thank you. I need to look at things from that lens.
Davram is the glass half full type of guy between the two of us. In life.
In life, maybe.
But like in the country, I think I am the glass half
that's
empty.
The thing.
I always think the worst is going to happen. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes you think the worst is going to happen and you're right. But in life, you're a glass half full type of guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that.
I call this not an earthquake, but an earth shiver.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, for me, it was an earthquake, but I know for you guys, it was more of a shiver.
It was a shower for me, actually. Just a normal
inner shower.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Speaking, I want to know about the dynamic between you two because you get in these very high intense situations.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever, like, which of the two of you is gonna ever freak out and be like, we gotta leave this mission, or really get into it? And it no longer becomes kind of this.
I don't know. It depends on the what it is, right?
Neither of us has ever really freaked out and not gone for it. It's just the version of what happens. Like sometimes it's like, am I yelling from the crowd, which is a little easier? Am I walking right up to the person? But I think we both have this thing somewhere in our brains that like doesn't work. There's like a shut off switch that is
small
broken.
amygdala.
The amygdala.
You have a small amygdala.
It's tiny. I knew it. I didn't know what it was, but
you know what they say about small amygdalas? I have no idea.
Finish it.
No, but you guys have seen Free Solo.
I was just gonna say that. Yes. Okay. So that's what he was diagnosed with, or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What was his name?
His name was Solo, and I think his first name was Free.
No,
Solo.
That's definitely not it.
No,
but he had a small
Adam
amygdala.
something? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll figure it out.
But I don't know.
I'll just move my mouth. You can put it in post.
But before we
do.
go up, Davram, I feel like you can feel your heart. Like I could feel my heart beating out of my chest.
I wasn't
sometimes.
implying that it's not really intense. That being said, we trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do, realizing that most of the people around you are going to be very unhappy about it. Sometimes those people are police officers or Secret Service agents. So it's definitely intense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both of us tend to go for it in those moments.
So you said your heart beats really fast.
Yes.
Do you ever take Propranolol or Klonopin?
No.
Okay.
We have. I will say for the record, we have been sober for every single.
That's exactly
break.
right.
Okay.
Literally, I don't think.
Have you ever gotten arrested?
Yes, we got arrested one time, not far from here, in New York City. And I want to preface this by saying, at the time, we had interrupted and had interactions with Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, all of these presidential candidates. Some of them were current governors or senators. We never got arrested during that whole time. We were held by the Secret Service, never arrested.
I was handcuffed at Rubio, right? But immediately released.
I think they I don't think they actually put handcuffs on you. But I don't want to say that's right. That's absolutely true. I'm not sure. But we did all this stuff. And then in 2016, at SantaCon here in New York City, you're familiar with SantaCon?
Yes.
Do you love it?
Okay, good. Then you maybe
Don't
would
offend
appreciate
me.
this.
Don't offend me, Davram, please.
Don't be so easily offended.
We did a bit where Davram was a Republican wearing a MAGA hat. I was a Democrat with a hat that said "Fine Ass Feminist." And the only thing we could agree on is that SantaCon is terrible and it should be canceled. And we put up flyers. They ended up getting on the news. We went on in character on the news, being like, this is terrible, which we do believe is terrible, but we were in character. Then the day of SantaCon, while they're all gathering there, we got up with a megaphone and we're like, SantaCon's canceled. Get on New Jersey Transit, Long Island Railroad. Get out of here.
And go home.
And cops come and they take us away. And we've been let out by cops so many times at this point in this year. And as they're taking us away, I feel like my hands go behind my back and handcuffs go on. And I'm like, we're getting arrested right now. This is not good. Davram was in a movie and was supposed to be on set later that
filming
night.
4 hours later. And there's this picture of me in a MAGA hat and Jason in his fine ass feminist hat as they're cuffing both of us. And I'm just looking at it like, you said this was going to be fine. and then we're like in the back of a van being like, okay, so we're really doing this.
But you tried to talk your way out of it, which was the funniest part. Davram's like talking to the cops, like, guys, this is so silly. Like they're gonna pull the car over and like let us out right then.
Yeah.
Like, so we go to.
Didn't work.
It did not work. We go. They put us in a jail cell.
Okay, so you were
We were locked
booked
up.
in.
Yeah.
We were locked up.
Orange jumpsuit?
Took our no orange
No,
jumpsuit, but they took our
no.
belt away, took the shoelaces off our shoes, and we're just sitting there. Just
You know
like,
why that is.
To
right?
not kill yourself.
Yeah.
Trigger
exactly.
warning.
We
Yeah.
were
People are
pretty
very
low
sensitive.
at the time, so I'm glad they took those things away.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a low moment. It was not fun, but you stand for something, you fall for anything. SantaCon's terrible, and we don't regret doing that.
We're glad to be in the presence of someone who gets how bad
You
it
get it.
This show is sponsored by AG1. So a few weeks ago, I posted a picture of my AG1 container that I keep in the fridge, and a lot of you guys had questions. I first gave AG1 a try because I know factually that I don't get the vitamins, minerals, and all the other things my body needs from my diet. And on a daily basis, forget about it. The other day, I had an entire frozen pizza for dinner and an expired protein shake for the day. That's all I had. But AG1 covers my bases with high quality ingredients like adaptogens, antioxidants, and whole food sourced nutrients. And it tastes amazing, by the way. Since drinking AG1 daily, I have felt more energy and I've even felt more consistency within my mood. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, but it is a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day. I do this every single morning. It's become a part of my ritual. AG1 is the supplement I trust to provide the support my body needs daily. And that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1 year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/Sofia. That's drinkag1.com/Sofia. Check it out. Let's talk about Ripple. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really mean it this time. Change is always hard, but my days of nicotine are soon to be behind me for real. But I don't want to embark on that journey unless I have an arsenal ready to go to make sure it's a success. And Ripple is that arsenal because Ripple is a 0% nicotine aromatic diffuser with plant-based ingredients, organic base, and natural aromas. So not only is it natural, but Ripple is also relaxing. Like, literally count me in. It's officially time to join the fuck nicotine movement. Ripple contains a non-addictive formula and so many different flavors to choose from, like Boost, which is maca and green tea with a pomegranate aroma that literally gives me the perfect boost when I need it throughout the workday. Sloots, if you're anything like me and have been trying to kick this nasty habit forever now, I'm telling you, this might be the answer. Because you're gonna wanna clutch something. You know what I mean? So try Ripple and join me on this journey by using my discount code SOPHIAF for 15% off at therippleco.com. I wanna know what your reasonings were, but what's more shocking to me is that you got arrested at SantaCon and you've been in front of the biggest politicians in the world, and it's like, what do? They're just like, go home.
I think Santa has a lot more power than maybe we all realize.
Yeah, it's Big Santa. No, I don't.
That's a great point.
Mm.
I think it's like also like the NYPD just like doesn't fuck around. Like they're
Right.
just like we're just gonna throw you in jail.
Right.
You could have caused a problem here, and we don't want to deal with
Then
it.
they're not worried about whatever image they need to be at a political rally. Like, oh, let's keep everyone calm. We don't need a story about someone getting arrested at this rally. I think in New York City, they were like, you might get like these drunk Santas angry, and they might like
It's also
beat you up or something.
9:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
They were
They were
hammered.
hammered, but it really is the worst day.
So, but
Worst
they
day.
really arrested you for your safety.
I don't. There were
I
a
don't
few
think so.
factors.
Think about you two against all the Santas.
We could have taken them. I mean,
100%.
yes, we would have
There's
destroyed them.
thousands of them.
but they're so drunk.
That's true.
They're so drunk.
Beyond drunk.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 2024 election.
Yay!
So, Sloots who are watching, well, you should be watching, subscribe / listening. You guys are going to kind of teach the Sloots as well as myself some shit so we can be ready for the election.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I
Okay.
mean, I don't know. We're going into this in a different way than I think 2020 and 2016, where it's like in 2020 there was like a big desire to get Trump out, and a lot of people are still really afraid of Trump, and I think rightfully so. But now it's like this is an election that like no one really wants. It feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know. When somebody brings up the 2024 election, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
I don't think people are anywhere near as tuned in as they were the last election, for sure.
Yeah,
Right?
Which is
Yeah.
bad news. Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
what do the
bad.
Sloots want to know?
I mean, so who is running for president?
Oh, good. Basics.
Let's start there.
Jeez, we got to remember everybody.
Yeah,
There's
okay,
Vern
Vern.
Supreme, Dean Phillips. No, now there is.
Those are real candidates.
Those are real candidates. It's Donald Trump, Joe Biden are the two front runners, and then there's Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Who's polling around like 10%. So that's
He's a
in
spoiler.
in a tight election that matters a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's it's Joe Biden, who is 81 years old, and Donald Trump, who's what, 78?
77 or 8.
And those are two elderly gentlemen.
Right.
running
So
for
one of
pres-
them's pretty old, and then the other one tried to overthrow an election
Yes.
Yes.
and stop
was
the peaceful
arrested.
transfer of power.
Yes, he was arrested. He was booked in,
Right.
turned himself in Georgia and
In multiple places.
Multiple
Yeah.
places, yeah. We went to all of
So
them.
yeah, I feel like that's the choice. One guy's kind of old, and then
Mhm.
the other guy tried to steal a presidential election. So
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I think it's an interesting.
So it's Robert.
Well, we didn't. We,
Oh,
we,
no.
we
Is that
talked
what we
about
just
the
did?
bad thing.
we
He's an
crossed off both of those.
anti-vaxxer. What else has he done? That's
Well, the interesting thing about him is he's taking his campaign very seriously, and he did that by saying that Aaron Rodgers at one point was at the top of his list for vice presidential candidates to share the ticket with. So that's how serious of a guy
Aaron
this
Rodgers,
is.
like the athlete.
the football. Yes,
The
football.
anti-vaxxer athlete. He was like, this is the guy that's going to push us over the edge. Now, he ended up choosing someone else because Aaron Rodgers said that Sandy Hook, the horrible shooting at the school, didn't really happen, and it was a bunch of crisis actors.
Okay.
So that's kind of part of the problem with
He said
maybe-
that we should add an allegedly there because that is like secondhand information.
Okay,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yes.
But just to give you an
Allegedly.
idea,
I
That's
love
for more for you
I
than
love
for us.
just
Allegedly.
throwing in
Yeah.
allegedly randomly
yeah.
throughout.
that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
legally very smart. Yes, allegedly.
So he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist-y guy.
Yes.
Yeah. But he also like
Allegedly.
loves the environment. And so you kind of people get turned on to someone who like wants to save the planet, especially at a time where that seems to really matter. Like he does have some good things to say, but if you dig a little deeper, it's not so great.
So I think the biggest question for me is he as hot
Mhm.
as the people before him who have been president? 'Cause
Hot, like attractive.
Yes.
Who? RFK Jr.
I mean, JFK was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well,
Yeah.
here's the deal.
Did he follow in their footsteps?
I'll say something allegedly before
Allegedly,
this too.
yeah.
There's a video of him with his shirt off. This is a 70-year-old guy, mind you.
Oh,
with
he's
his shirt
70.
off. Oh, he's yeah.
Okay.
He's Robert F. Kennedy's son. And there's a video of him with his shirt off, cranking some push-ups, and he stands up, and the guy holding the camera says, "That's a fit boy," and he is a fit boy. He is jacked. So I would say, I don't know, I would say he's got a great bod. I don't know if he's
I think yes. I think the short answer is yes.
Really?
Hot guy.
Okay.
I just don't know that he's I guess I haven't seen him in his youth. I just don't know if he's, but like JFK Jr., really handsome fellow. You know?
Very handsome.
Fit boy.
He's a fit boy. He's a fit boy.
Did he post that video? Like on
He
purpose?
did, or I think so. I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah.
Allegedly post that video. No, I don't know who posted it. But
Okay.
we talked about it on our podcast
Yeah.
last week. We showed the video. It was like, yeah, it was.
And the fit boy is
That's like whoever's filming.
Yeah,
and it's
which
clearly they
makes
have like a
it-
funny like workout partnership thing happening. It seems like allegedly.
Allegedly.
So he's like, that's a fit
Title this
boy.
episode.
And he's, RFK Jr. is very proud. He does do the thing though, where you only see like the last like 4 push-ups. So you're like, I don't know if you did more than 4 push-ups.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know. I can't prove that.
1,003. Yeah.
he's like every influencer. Like
Is
it's
it?
not real.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
you just need the moment. You just need your buddy calling you a fit boy.
Fit boy.
Yeah.
Fit boy.
Every influencer and every politician, right?
Mhm.
They have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I would say
True.
it's kind of the same. I mean, it's a little bit of the same thing. It's
A
lot.
little bit.
Oh.
Very different. Some like major similarities, I would
Yes.
say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donald Trump's kind of an influencer. you know?
Yeah, I would
Like,
say he was like, that's what he was.
That's what he was
before.
on Twitter, getting everyone angry and angry enough to
And also he's
listen
like,
to whatever he said.
he'll go, he has like products, but they're not like, check out this new makeup or whatever. He's like, I got steaks. Check out Trump
Does
steaks.
he?
Oh,
Go to
yeah,
Trump
yeah.
University.
He had steaks.
Oh, Trump University, I remember. Steaks is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
I don't know if they were
promotes
good or
those
not.
like just in the middle of an
That's
election.
defunct now,
That's
right?
defunct. But he's doing like, he'll do, what's it called? He had like
got
the
shoes,
NFTs.
his shoes, golden shoes that you
Yeah.
could buy. So yeah,
Golden.
he's
Yeah.
selling stuff too.
People say they like the shoes, so I don't know.
Damn, I want to check those out. Just are they a sneaker?
They're
Yeah.
sneaker.
They're
They're
like
like
high
they look
top.
like the Yeezys.
They're
or
like
something.
dunks, kind of.
Yeah.
Does he wear sneakers?
No, he wears shoes with lifts, I believe. Allegedly. I should
Right.
say that again.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And a girdle.
And a girdle.
He wears allegedly?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
A girdle I could see for
Because
sure.
he leans forward in a really odd way because he's propped up on his alleged lifts and
Mm-hmm.
his girdle's kind of holding him and
Alleged
pushing
girdle.
him forward allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to see if you look at him from the side.
Oh, from the side.
Yeah.
But all that to say, he has authoritarian tendencies, and I think that we might be in some really dark times if he's elected president.
Thank
Again.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you
was
for,
for the-
that
that was
was
for
a
the
great
Sloots.
way to,
Yes.
to wrap it up. Could you guys just quickly talk about some of the other stipulations that come with it being an election year?
What to
Online.
expect is that
It's-
as like spring turns to summer, it's going to be all that you're going to see on the news, and the campaigns are going to kick into like really high gear,
Uh-huh.
and everyone's going to be so sick of it by the time early November rolls around.
Do people get angrier? Like, is there like, there's more anger around that time? There has to be.
I think so.
I think so. I mean, if
Yeah.
2020 is any indication, there was
The
a lot
anger
of people
peaks
with
around
guns
January
showing up.
6th,
Yes,
it turns
yes,
out.
that's when it. But this time it'll be January 8th
I think.
is when they're
How-
certifying the.
That's when
Oh,
Donald Trump
that's
tried to
the
stop the
storm the
peaceful
Capitol.
transfer of power and the storming of the Capitol. And I think this year, or next year, we should say it's going to be on January 8th. I think we looked that up,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So if they are trying to stop the election from being certified again, that would be the day that for the regular tourist visit,
yes,
as
Okay.
they called it.
Let's talk about January 6th.
Yes.
Is there a
Alright.
reason that we refer to it as January 6th and not Storm the Capitol Day? I guess it's not Storm the Capitol Day in your calendar, right?
It is in mine.
It could
now.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
If Donald Trump wins, it might just be like a holiday, like this is
Literally.
the greatest day,
Patriots
Freedom
Day.
Day or Patriots Day
Yeah.
or whatever. But for now, it's January 6th, just because it conveniently was on January 6th. And I guess it doesn't say whether you hate it or love it. It just says when it was. But I think the next election, it'll get a name.
Yeah.
We were at January 6th, not to
Yeah.
brag, or maybe that's what we're moving to that part of the conversation. We were there, and we like debated whether or not we were going to go. We got there on the 5th. And when we got to DC, I got a text from my mom that was like, do not go to DC tomorrow.
I knew it was going to be a foreboding text.
Yeah.
Why do moms it's always like a cryptic,
Yeah.
scary.
She was so right.
But
though.
actually,
She was really
definitely
really
had.
correct.
But a little bit of a technicality, but I wasn't going to DC tomorrow. I was already there at that point.
That's what I
So
wanted
I
to
felt-
ask you guys.
yeah.
How were you guys miraculously at the scene?
If you were paying attention at all.
Not to plant anything. I'm just saying.
No.
Oh, you think we got some insider info?
Why did the FBI tell us to go there?
Yeah.
No.
Like, if you were paying attention around that time, it was like Trump was tweeting about it, and people were gathering. I think in DC, like only a week and a half earlier or something, there had been like some semi-violent clashes, and then that was the big day. That was when they were certifying the election. So it had this feeling that something was going to happen. I don't think we could have anticipated anything like what happened, but I think we thought there would be, we knew Trump was holding this big rally and that there would be like some counter protesters and that things could get really tense. But definitely not. We did not see anything like what was going to happen. But that's why we were there the day before. We arrived. We saw the people, the militias and the Proud Boys.
It's wild.
Is that when you did the interview?
The
The
interview
interview was the day of. The
was the
interview
day
was
of.
probably
Trump-
about an hour before all that went down.
When-
Holy shit.
when Trump was coming on stage. In the background, you can hear is like, "I'm proud to be an American."
It's the
which he
song
plays.
that always plays him on stage. Is like during that interview. So that was the moment things like started.
But we
to
did feel
unfold.
like the night before we were staying at a hotel, the Yours Truly DC is where we were staying,
Mhm.
which is like kind of like a hipster hotel, whatever. But it was filled with Trump supporters.
Okay.
And when we were trying to sleep that night, we started hearing like screams from the other rooms of people and the people that we were like sharing elevators with. They're wearing like bulletproof vests and camo and all this stuff. They were like screaming like, "We're taking it back tomorrow. It's 1776. Let's go."
Yeah.
And like
It was
playing like
this,
loud like
metal music and like it's like there's a bunch of drinking and going on and like getting ready for whatever was going to happen. So
It's like
it
they were getting
almost-
ready.
for like battle
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
It almost would have been weird at that point if they had just peacefully listened to a speech and gone home. Like people took
Right.
buses with all their friends and drank a lot and listened to allegedly.
Allegedly.
That
No,
sounds-
we heard. We could say that.
No, I think that you can. That was firsthand experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
From
I'm
you
just throwing
guys.
it in there just for legal purposes.
Okay,
I
good,
just
good.
want to help us all out.
Yeah. That sounds fucking terrifying. And that was the night before.
It was the night
The
before.
night before. And then we got up in the morning and like the streets had been kind of crowded the day before, but then it was just like
Packed.
flooded with people. And like Jason was saying, these people are wearing like camo and they have walkie-talkies and they're communicating with each other. They're like trying to be like this military presence.
Bulletproof vest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like it in retrospect, it's like, well, of course it was going to get ugly. Like you can't amp these people up that much and then have it just fizzle out.
Au revoir, Sloots. Get your passports out because we are about to have a summer that only a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie can rival. But before we hit the jetway, we're learning a new language because how else are we gonna flirt for free drinks internationally? How am I gonna get a spritz? I can only bat my eyelashes so much. Thank God for Rosetta Stone, the most trusted language learning program so that you can really speak the language for flirting or otherwise. I'm going to be including Rosetta Stone in my daily routine so that by the time my summer travels come around, I'll be just fluent enough to get what I want in any country. Rosetta Stone is the trusted language expert for over 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered. It immerses you in every way possible and is specially designed for long-term retention. I plan to marry a guy from Europe, so thank God. And it's so easy. Available from your desktop or phone, Rosetta Stone will never be too far away. Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a very limited time, Sofia with an F listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/Sofia. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/Sofia today. Did you know that since we live in a world that makes people feel like they are never good enough, the average dieter will try over 162 diets over the course of their lives? 162 diets. And we all know that the weight loss industry is a cash machine that preys on our insecurities and desperation. Whether it's summer body, wedding body, post-baby body, whatever age you're at body, all the things that we feel pressured to conform to. And it's okay because guess what? We are all in the same boat. Literally all of us. And to top it off, we are in such a rush to lose it in unhealthy ways that we gain it right back twice as fast. But not when you visit Sono Bello. Sono Bello is the only way to permanently lose unwanted fat and inches because Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro fat removal. Wherever you have stubborn fat, it can go away in just one visit. So screw all the fad diets, injections, and things that just don't work or have nasty side effects. Give yourself the gift of a full body reset. You deserve to be happy. Schedule your free consultation. Learn all about micro laser fat removal. Sono Bello is running a great special right now. Visit sonobello.com/Sofia. That's Sono, BELLO.com/Sofia. And so your guys' reaction to that was, let's bring out a microphone
Yeah.
and ask people. You guys titled the interview Biggest Collection of Losers interview.
Yeah, we were very reactionary to like our I guess our feeling at the time was, Donald Trump he's refusing to admit that he's a loser, and he's built his whole personality on being this winner, and I'm a winner and I'll never lose. And then he lost the election, and everybody, his own attorney general was like, you lost the election, man. It's over. And he just wouldn't accept it. So we kind of took it out a little bit on the situation there.
Yeah, a little bit. But if you can tell, we have some misgivings a little bit about calling everyone who's there losers. But then I think back on it, I'm like, but then, an hour later, they would overrun police officers and rub shit on the walls of the U.S. Capitol. So maybe it was fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
At the time, maybe you felt a little guilty.
Not at the time.
No.
I would say
days later,
yeah.
Just called it the biggest gathering of losers, huh?
Yeah.
And then it's I'm processing this. It's like the earthquake.
Uh-huh.
You need some processing time to figure out how you feel about it.
Did you ever think about calling your podcast that?
The biggest gathering of losers.
The
two of us.
I think that would have been a great name.
The smallest gathering of losers, just the two of us.
It's
We
okay.
couldn't even get other losers to join.
Just two losers.
I have to say, no, we did not consider that, but I have to say, we will.
We will now.
Thank you.
Pretty good name for a podcast.
It's a pretty
you
good
have
one.
the Sloots, we have the losers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure your listeners would love to be in that category.
They would love that.
Has anyone ever been able to see through the facade and maybe called you out and been like, I don't know if you are a real Trump supporter here.
Well, it depends. I mean,
Not that you're not a real Trump supporter.
Yeah, say what you really think.
Like people have gotten angry with us most of the time where we ask questions and then it's really just like asking questions
That are very loaded and
yeah, like sometimes people have a way of thinking about things that they have just from being in their echo chamber, and it's the same what Democrats do to a certain extent, like liberals and circles, just being in your bubble, and you ask a question that makes you like think about it. Your first instinct is to be defensive about it. So people do get upset with us sometimes.
yes.
And politicians have gotten upset with us like several times.
But also, like, less and less do we pretend to be Trump supporters and go into a pro-Trump event. Like, we did some of that at the beginning, but as things have progressed, it's like we'd rather just be there documenting it and talking to people and asking tough questions. And so there's not really anything to discover about us. Sometimes, like Jason said, people do get like mad because we're pressing them on stuff, but
Do
for
they
the
ever
most part, we're not lying about who
question?
we are.
Like question their own beliefs or a question.
Well, has that one ever happened?
I feel like every once in a while.
Three times.
I don't know. I can count it on my hand. I feel like a couple times, maybe. I don't know that it's been like lasting questioning.
No, I think so. Sometimes you were asking if we are questioned about like who we are and what.
Basically, has anyone ever been like, I smell a rat in here, and
Totally.
it's those two, get out, like
Yes.
that kind of thing?
Kind of, but like, I don't know. We can be here.
We're allowed to, yeah.
We're allowed to be here if you leave. So I don't know. That's kind of been our outlook. Every once in a while, we're like, oh, this person seems a little worked up. We'll move on.
Uh-huh.
And in general, though, we're there asking questions, and sometimes people will say they don't want to talk. Of course, we just move along. So it's really people who want to be talking, and we prepare a few questions and see what the answers are related to what's going on. So
especially if somebody has like an out there belief,
or a crazy T-shirt on. It's like, tell us about why you chose to wear that today.
Tell me, explain a crazy T-shirt.
Well, one time we saw, and this is like a very common thing. We were talking about the Kennedys before. There's a very common belief in like the Trump circles that JFK Jr. is alive and well and is currently working with Donald Trump. JFK Jr. died in 1999 in a plane crash. It's been documented.
But he was frozen like
Very
Walt
hot.
Disney.
Very hot. Yes. Okay. So you're familiar with these conspiracies. You're the one who's been writing.
Did
them
you make
online this whole
that shirt?
Allegedly. Allegedly.
But so one time I saw a guy that had that shirt on and I started talking to him. And then the woman he was with was like, by the way, Biden is not Biden. There are a lot of people playing him. One of them is Jim Carrey. And I was like, it was just a moment of like, I thought we were going to go in and talk about JFK Jr., which is wild. But now you're like hitting me with like a haymaker of this of Jim Carrey.
And that, for the record, was in 2022, right?
Yes.
And the shirt said 2021. So Trump, JFK Jr. 2021. So it had already not come to pass.
I asked him. I was like, the shirt says 2021. He was like, yeah. We missed the year. We missed the year. And I was like, do you think it's going to happen again this time? And he was like, definitely it's happening this year.
So are these like homemade shirts they're making, would you say?
That one was.
That one was.
But there's like definitely a marketplace for this stuff. Like,
if you want to put it in a story or whatever, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, maybe get a free shirt.
Yeah.
So what would the website be? For shits and giggles, just because I like want to peruse.
Goodliarstore.com. You can go there.
That's perfect. Yeah, Goodliarstore.com.
We do have a Biden JFK Jr. shirt that sold quite well.
Oh, yeah.
And a Let's Fuck Brandon shirt that sold great.
Okay.
Because everyone was saying, let's go Brandon. Was like their pro-Trump thing, but they would also say, fuck Joe Biden. And so we combined it. So they didn't have to say both things.
Oh.
Let's fuck Brandon. That sold thousands and thousands of shirts. It's a great election year gift, I think.
Especially for the Brandons in your life.
Especially for a Brandon.
Yeah.
That's very witty.
Yeah.
And really fucking funny. By the way, we're going to actually do the craziest segue and talk abortion.
Yeah.
From storming the Capitol to abortion. So I am obviously very pro-choice. You guys did an abortion interview, and there was a guy holding up massive sign, like bigger than everyone else's, that said, "Is God pro-life?"
Yeah, just God is pro-life.
Oh,
He was
Wasn't even a
sure.
question.
Oh, it
He
wasn't
knew
a
it.
question.
He knew it for
Yeah,
sure.
he knew. He
yeah.
was certain. of
Period.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you guys have this interaction with him. He didn't really have much to say.
No. No.
At
Nearly
all.
nothing.
Yes. Pretty
Nearly
much nothing. Yeah.
Nothing at all.
It was I mean, the question was just a basic question. You always hear that from people who are like trying to take choice away from women. It's like, it's in the Bible. God is pro-life. And so we got to listen to the Bible. The Bible is the blueprint for everything. And he had a giant sign that said God is pro-life. So I just asked him, like, what about in Noah when he killed
Noah's
everybody
Ark.
on earth except for Noah and farm animals?
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't have a response to it. And that's been this case we've like done with other Bible stories. Like God kills 44 children, 42 children with bear
With
attack.
a bear attack for making fun of someone.
I didn't know he.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
that's
sent these bears to
interesting.
kill these kids. And
Allegedly.
allegedly. No, that's in the
Are
Bible,
you-
so
yeah,
that's true.
That definitely happened
okay, so
because it was in the
okay.
Bible.
But meanwhile,
right.
you're not supposed to like mix fabrics. Like if you wear wool and linen or cotton, you're like going against the Bible.
Well, if God is so pro-life, then why do we die?
There you go. Hey,
See,
you're
it
stumping me
stumps,
now.
yeah.
You're stumping me. I don't have an answer for that.
We should be living forever.
Mhm.
And the other thing about the flood is that we've talked about with people before is God kills everybody on earth. There had to be pregnant women in there. God probably committed more abortions than anyone in history.
Anyone.
So
Right. And
Thank you.
But
that
did, had
your
those
pipe.
has,
Factual.
Factual.
Right. Have those fetuses done anything to deserve that? God is probably the one. Like we were saying, we were surprised that protests haven't sprung up outside churches. Like,
Yeah.
people are worshiping the entity that is did more abortions than anyone in history, and these people are celebrating.
Yeah, it's a little. Maybe
Crass.
we should do a protest.
Yeah.
I think maybe you guys should make a sign.
We have a
And-
sign that we have a shirt. Well, it's part of our live show. God is pro-choice.
Because we discovered
discovered
actually
that.
learned during the show that God is pro-choice.
Well,
So-
and I know.
Now you know.
So, and it's in the Bible.
And it's in the Bible. Now it is in the
Now
Bible.
it is.
The new
You'd
Oh,
have
the
version
to,
of the
new-
Bible.
you'd have to
Okay.
see the live show to
Leviticus
to get it, but-
20:13 is
yeah.
now that. It's no longer if a man lays with a man as he lays with a woman, surely he should be put to death. It's now God is pro-choice. That is the new Leviticus 20:13.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
According to our sources.
Our sources. But the thing that you have to do is if you see a Bible out
I'm
there,
like, is this a fake new?
right?
I mean, yes,
It's-
but
it's-
no.
it's real to us.
It's
It's
if
real to
it
us.
catches on, it's not fake. So if you
Just like the Bible stories in the first place,
exactly
they caught on, and now they're
now
they're
everyone
real.
believes it's real. Yeah.
So yeah, and if you see a Bible out there, that's just for anyone listening, cross out Leviticus 20:13 and just write God is pro-choice. Then your Bible's up to date.
It's up to date. can
Okay,
save
thank
money.
you. It's like
Yeah.
the DSM 5 for whatever DSM we're
Yes.
on now.
Right.
Yes.
It should be updated every year. It's like it's
We
like
see it as a
school
living
textbook.
It's a living document.
A
Yes.
living document.
What is that? What is it with the Constitution? It's a living Constitution. It's a living
It's a
Bible.
living document.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think.
know.
But you can see how much we know.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think it is crazy to me that in 2024 there is still such a divide over the topic of abortion? Why do you think that is? And why is there no separation of church and state at this juncture?
I don't know. We've asked people about the separation of church and state, and a lot of people who are super pro-life kind of don't want there to be a separation between church and state. They're open about that, but if there's one guy asked, well, do you think church and state should be, together? Yes. Well, are you not a constitutionalist then? He's like, no, I love the Constitution. People don't see that as like being at odds with each other.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of mental gymnastics that come with religion.
yeah.
But I think it's like, to answer the question with it though, like I feel like people now, like a majority of people are pro-choice. Like I don't think it's like, and even like Trump supporters we talk to, a lot of
Yeah.
them will be like, well, there's certain situations. And it's like, well, if you take that right away and make it harder in all of these states, which is what happened with the Dobbs decision, now you're not allowing those situations to you're not allowing the choice for the woman to be able to like deal with these situations that we're talking about. And then the
Right.
doctors have to worry about things. And it's just a nightmare that it's creating for everybody. But I think it's hopefully, in 2024, it's going to be an issue that's going to bring out a lot of people. But I think more people are pro-choice than pro-life.
Like the midterm elections in 2022, that was why there was no red wave. And it seemed like because of the Dobbs decision, you saw what Jason was just referring to. A lot of people, when confronted with it, are pro-choice. 66% of Americans or something.
Yeah.
So that may play a huge role in this election as well.
That is very interesting. So basically, someone needs to create a policy against something, and then people will actually stand up and say something and state their opinions and show they care.
Yeah, but it's like, this is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing at all.
Getting Trump out is like, it would be like things would be better if the Dobbs decision never happened and women had the right to choose. Like
Right.
we would be in a much better state of the country.
Also, the everything they say about, we're just kicking it back to the states. This is where these decisions should be made. But the net result is fewer choices for more people.
And IVF getting banned in Alabama. It's like wild stuff to talk about what you were saying with like the Christian values like in society. Like it's like wild stuff that feels like so regressive and
like morning after pills that
Is
people
that- I was
are
gonna
like
say.
people are saying, well, then that would stop an embryo from implanting, and now we're like, where do you draw the line? So
Mhm.
there was something that drew the line, and that was the constitutional right to it, which now no longer exists. So now it's all these battleground
The
states with trigger
constitutional-
laws. So the second Roe was overturned, they went to these like really harsh laws that were on the books, almost as ways for Republicans to state their religious beliefs without the intention of those actually becoming law. And now they just are.
Yeah, we were going to a Trump rally. Like we were at the airport at LaGuardia and we were flying to Missouri, to St. Louis, the day the Dobbs decision happened. And while we were in the air, by the time we landed, abortion was illegal in Missouri, even in the case of rape and incest. Like already by the time we landed, because of the laws that Davram was talking about. It's bad. It should be a motivating factor for people.
Yes. That like disgusts me. In Catholic school.
Yeah,
in
what did they
high
say? Yeah, what did they say
There
to
you
you?
go.
They made us watch Dr. Seuss's A Person's a Person No Matter How Small during religion class.
Do you remember, is there like a song or a rhyme to that you remember?
I don't. So I think it's actually the Lorax.
Oh, okay.
Is it? It was some Dr. Seuss, but
Okay.
we were talking about the issue of abortion.
They really
made us
will
watch-
use anything to prove their point.
Yes. Dr. Seuss's name.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he is a doctor, so
True.
I don't know.
That's more than
Allegedly.
we are.
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
put it all together. We're not doctors.
Yeah. They also had us play this game that was very bizarre. There was a fake baby on a rope, and we had to like get the baby to the other side alive. I've never heard of that game being played anywhere else, but
We play that game.
Oh.
Rope baby.
Real
Yeah,
baby,
yeah.
Where I'll tug it, you'll
Yeah,
tug it.
yeah.
But other than that,
Other than
never.
that,
Yeah.
I thought we were
Okay,
the only
so
ones.
okay.
What was the idea though? That so you're saving the baby, and were you like the hero of the class? If you
I mean, it was so there were teams and you just had to get it across. I think there was some, subliminal, but not so subliminal messaging
Yeah.
happening there.
not so veiled ideas there.
Yeah.
Weird. That is bizarre.
That's really
At the March for Life, she did this to both of us, right? This woman came up and like put like a fetus,
silicon.
silicon fetus in our hands, and was like, "I just want you to hold this."
Like, was it like a stress ball?
Yeah,
I just-
yeah. And we both were like, and then handed it back, and we're like, "What was this? What did
was
this
it?
do?"
I feel
What's
better.
about it?"
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
but it
need
was-
one of these.
yeah.
Yeah. Utah's kind of a crazy place. Just with the Mormonism and then me being in Catholic school, because then the Mormon, there's all types of shit going on there too.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
tension between the.
No, because the Mormons, outnumber us.
Right.
Now I'm saying the Mormons because of you.
Wait, what
That is so not PC for you to say that.
allegedly.
Alleged. Ugh.
Just don't want to get in trouble
Yeah,
with Big
but-
Mormon.
Allegedly.
But
Yeah.
Utah is pretty though. It's got
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Zion, like
Grand Junction, it's like an extension of Utah. It's super conservative. Lauren Boebert is the rep there.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of her.
No.
Really, it's a really intense place. Like weed is legal in the rest of Colorado, but not in this county.
Okay.
Like it really feels like it looks like Utah. I feel
Like-
like it's just
like you're like
Utah took it.
honorary Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
kind of.
yeah.
So
I
we
think
both
we have
connect
that.
in
Yeah.
that way for
Mhm.
sure. So you weren't raised Mormon though, but your friends were
Many friends, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Were they not having sex?
I feel like they did. They went one way or the other. They were either like, I'm Mormon, so like there's
Jack
certain things I
Mormon?
can't do, or they were like, there's ways to have sex.
Soaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's ways around this.
Yeah.
So it felt like you picked one path or the other.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
The Jack Mormon. They
Wait.
just go wild.
What?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain this? What that means? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the term.
Soaking?
Soaking.
I know soaking. I know
Okay.
soaking.
Which there's another one. I can't remember the name. I'll have to look it up where you have your friend go under the bed and
You have your
put
friend
his,
jump
Yo,
on the
yeah.
bed, I think.
Were you talking
jump
about this?
on. I heard about he goes underneath, puts his feet on the bottom of the
Effectively
mattress.
same.
But it's the same
yeah.
idea.
And God's like, oh, looks like there's just the two of them in
God's
there.
like, you fooled
All
me.
right.
These kids are smart, and that's legal. And let's go with that. God's looking down.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't see through the bed.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, it's just the two of them, and they're not moving.
You guys went to a flat Earth convention.
Flattoberfest
Yeah.
is what it was called.
I would
Was-
love to ask those people about this earthquake today.
I would like to ask them this. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But why would they think, just to play devil's advocate here?
Yeah.
Not saying I'm a flat earther.
Not saying
I'm not
You're
saying I'm
not,
not.
though.
I'm not saying I'm no. Why would that not work in the flat earth?
I don't know. I just want to know what it is. So the Flat Earth Convention, people seem to have a variety of opinions, a little bit, but for the most part, the Earth is a flat circle. Antarctica, that would normally be on the bottom of our globe, is actually a ring around the outside of the Earth with 200-foot tall walls of ice stopping people from leaving Earth. And over the top is like a hard, like glass-like orb that keeps everything inside.
Okay.
So what would be under it? And
So we're in a
cause the-
snow globe.
Yeah, and that some of them will explain it in that way. Yeah.
So what would be under it? I mean, it's still
Is
like
it
the tectonic
is it like
plates and
the
stuff.
Mormon kid under the mattress? Just
Yeah, exactly. It's just the guy kicking underneath it.
yeah.
That was good. That was good to make that.
Full circle
Yeah.
there.
Full circle, but not full circle. It's
Yes, flat circle.
Yes.
Flat circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we asked some people like, is the earth round? And they were like, yeah, it's round. It's flat, but it's round. It's round.
Yeah,
And
and
I
we
was like-
talked to the one of the guys who's like the leader kind of, and we're like, okay, we have a theory. What if it's like a map, like the Earth is a map, but it's wrapped around like a ball-like thing? For like 30 minutes, he's like, no, see, I see that would explain some things, some physics type thing, but no, that wouldn't work.
But we
Come
just kept on being
We just
like,
kept being like,
I don't
we
think
had a
you
ball.
understand
I don't
what
think you
we're doing
understand.
here.
What if
It's
we
the
wrap it
same map, but
around?
it's around a ball, so it would make sense. Everything
Yeah.
would
And
make
we were
sense.
very patient. We'd be like, we'll start over from
It's like,
the beginning.
Obviously, you
Flat
don't
map
get this.
around a ball. Now we're satisfied.
It's still
right?
the same map. You like, what
Yeah.
don't you understand here?
He's treating it like a beautiful mind. Like there's
Yeah.
all these mathematics
Yeah.
involved. He's like, well,
he's like, I can't tell you exactly why that wouldn't work right now, but I can get back to you on that.
He was a nice enough guy. I would say also like most of the people there were really, really nice. And there also were no scientists, doctors, or teachers there. Not one.
Yeah.
Not
And
literally.
you can
not
ask
one.
them, and they'll be like, "Yeah, well, it's very taboo in certain communities to talk about this stuff, and that's why the doctors and the physicists
and
all
they're
these people-
mean.
right?
And they're
So-
mean. They're
right.
like say
They're
mean
like
things,
so
but-
they you can tell that's part of it too. They're like they'll make fun of you if you even bring it up, which is how you know you're on to something.
Exactly.
Right.
Where is this convention held? Is it Utah?
It was at the
Samstown.
Samstown Casino in Las
Las
Vegas,
Vegas.
Nevada, way off the strip,
Okay.
and like a very old. It was like you're going into a different time. It was like you're in the 60s or 70s in there, and like it was just in like a convention hall there. There was probably 500 people there, which is too many to think that the Earth is flat.
So it's
but-
it's a solid group of people, and there's speaker after speaker. And just to give you an idea of the things you might hear if you like walk through this room, we're like walking through trying to figure out what are we going to film next, what are we going to do, and a woman gets on stage and just goes, "Who drinks their own pee?" 50-60% of the people enthusiastically
No.
like, "Me, I do. Yeah, you do."
Please tell me you're fucking with me.
No, it's real. And then she's like, and do we go to the emergency room? No, we don't. And maybe for like a broken leg or something, but if you're just sick, you just drink your own pee. And everyone was like, "Yep, I've been thinking the same thing, and I'm glad you're saying it out loud."
And here's the thing. When we got back, we were like, let's not say that she's wrong necessarily. We both kind of like had colds from being out there. We did a week of drinking our own pee.
Mhm.
No, you didn't.
And
8 days.
8
a little
days.
longer than a week.
And at the end of it, like we developed like some like dehydration
And
or something
lesions.
and lesions, but the cold went away.
Yeah.
So
They're not wrong.
they're not wrong. They're
but
not
can
wrong.
can we? Have you guys done?
LOL. I want to say LOL.
LOL.
Laughing
Allegedly.
emoji. Not true. Not true. We do not drink our own pee. I don't
You
want
have
that
to
to be
say
a
LOL.
thing.
You learned that.
LMAO
Okay,
people
okay.
laughing my ass off. Okay. Have you guys done the actual research to know?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Because right now I'm seeing like a flat floor.
Oh,
That's
that's
what
true.
they would say.
That's
They would
true.
say, "What does it look like?" Well, we are curious people. That's why we do what we do. So we met up with a guy at the convention. We talked to a lot of people, and he offered to take us out to a lake and test it out
By the
to
Hoover
see-
Dam. By the
Yeah.
Hoover Dam.
to see if the Earth was flat. So
And also, while we were at the Hoover Dam, just to go back in time for what
Yeah.
you're about to say, he is talking to us about how the Earth is flat, and then a guy who happened to work in like the Navy, the Dutch Navy, hears him and is like, no, the
No,
Earth
that's
is
not
not.
true.
I see
That's
boats
not-
coming
that's
over
wrong."
the horizon, which is like because the Earth is round.
Oh.
And he's explaining all this stuff to him, and they're like disagreeing, and they're all. It's very like cordial, and they're very
Yeah.
nice. And then at the end of it, he was like, "Oh, I think the Earth is 6,000 years old." And then the Dutch guy was like, "I agree with you on that. I think that's true." And I was like, "No, that was like the
No.
voice of reason."
yeah,
just like
we'd already
what-
spent like 45 minutes watching this unfold, and then he's like, "Yeah, that's true too."
And then we're walking. We keep walking with this guy. We've driven an hour and a half to get out to the Hoover Dam, and a cop comes up to us and says, because we didn't know if we were in like a restricted area. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And then he was like, "Hey, are you the guys that do those funny videos where you interview those people?"
Oh shit.
Like in front of the guy. We're like, yeah, that's us. We're talking to this guy right now about the flat Earth, and he's like, "Oh man, you guys' videos are so funny." And
He's like, "What's with these people,
and
huh?"
I was
Oh,
so,
like,
I felt so
shit.
bad
But
because
we
this guy
liked the
became our
guy.
friend.
Yeah, we liked him, and
yeah.
and we ended up doing the test. He had his like Zoom camera.
What was the test?
So-
Were you guys seeing if you would just keep going and then fall off the earth?
No, that would
The-
be.
the
I would
idea-
love to do that. I would love
Yeah.
to go to Antarctica and just like see the ice
People
wall.
have sailed around the Earth, though. It's a problem with the theory, but anyway.
Show me the map. I will
So
explain. that to you.
basically, if there's a long area of water, theoretically, the water would go with the curvature of the Earth. And if you were seeing a building that was, say, 30 feet tall, but it were far enough across the water, the curvature of the water should obscure the building.
there should be a
That's the
bulge
idea. So,
in the water.
Got it.
so basically, almost all their experiments are some variety of this. But the problem is, like, you're just on a beach
We don't
holding
see
this
in
camera.
3D.
Yeah, and they're not like we said before. These people are not scientists.
No.
Like they don't like follow the scientific method for a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like
And so we're holding the camera, and we kind of got the guy to admit that like it was inconclusive.
because there was a little bit of a bulge there.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
spoiler
Yeah.
that the Earth is round for everyone.
The
out
Earth
there.
might be round.
Might.
So if
Might.
you're listening to this and
Allegedly.
you're
Allegedly.
hey, you have some questions, the Earth is allegedly could possibly be right.
Okay, I
Yes.
like how you phrased it that
Mhm.
way. That way it makes me feel safe, you
Yeah,
know.
same.
I don't
same.
want to be making blanket
Yeah, you could get
statements,
sued by Big Flat
periods.
Earth at
Right.
the end of this. That would
Yeah.
be a bummer.
Elon Musk. If we're talking about conspiracies, how do we feel about him? Do we think he is a real person?
Well, quick sidebar to go back to Flat Earth.
Okay.
There at the Flat Earth, they were selling hats that instead of saying SpaceX said fake X because they don't think space is real.
I was
And
going
they
to ask
hate
that.
Elon Musk. Even though all these people, like a lot of them are like
They
conservative,
hate NASA.
Christian.
They hate Elon Musk.
They
Those
think
two
it's a
things you
lie.
bring him up.
See, I thought they were going to be a little bit more understanding and they would just think there's space and then the glass ceiling.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's
You know,
interesting.
They think it's pretty low, and they say
Okay.
that there's never been a video of like going up and looking down at Earth, and that all the curvature you see are because of fisheye lenses. So if you say like, but NASA pictures, they'll go,
I can't believe you're bringing that up. Like, what about going to the moon? They're like, okay. And then they're
all
like,
right,
I
so
got to
it
teach
looks like-
this
yeah,
guy
it
about
looks
the
like you're
moon
new to
landing
this.
being faked. Great.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Elon Musk. What a guy.
I don't know.
What a
It's
guy.
just
It's
like
just a bummer.
Libs of TikTok will post some horrible thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then Elon will comment like, "Wow."
Interesting.
And then
Looking
and
into
then
this.
as if he's just like interested in this horrible content. And it's like so thinly veiled. Like we all understand he's just drawing millions of eyeballs to this thing.
And
then
why?
it's like weird plausible deniability because he's got his own opinions and he bought Twitter so he could spread them.
Yeah. I don't know that he's like been like super. I mean, I guess he has been super red pilled, but I don't know like what his actual like end game with all the stuff is because it's like not like he's like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I find it confusing.
And he, has a very profitable company, and like the U.S. government is like dependent on it for like a lot of the satellites that we use and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Fake X.
Fake X.
So it's odd. It's depressing. I mean, in a way, it was good for me because I'm like, I don't get on Twitter as much
Easier
anymore.
to
So like,
unplug
I'm like,
from,
oh,
yeah.
this is nice for me
Well,
personally.
let's call it what it is. It's
X, excuse me.
X.
And it is an X a little bit.
Do you think he's real?
For me.
Your question probably you think he might not
You
be
think he's a lizard
real.
person?
I think he has a somewhat of a reptilian brain similar to Mark Zuckerberg.
And like when did you know that he had that reptilian brain?
I'm totally fucking with you, but I think
But there must have been a moment where
I don't
you were
like nerds.
He's like
He's
trying
a
not to
dork.
be a nerd.
I used
though,
to give swirlies to
Yeah.
kids
Oh,
like that.
Nerds that try to not be nerds
or even
are-
worse.
oh
to
my
you.
god,
Yeah.
him in an interview,
Right.
please.
Okay. All right.
I think he's trying not to be a nerd though.
But
Like,
he's got all. It's what's funny about it is he does have like all of these like Trump supporter type like high school jock guys like love him now. Like all
right,
the
'cause
kids that would have
because
made
he's
fun of
selling
him.
himself as something different. I think to your point, he's like a nerd.
Yeah.
So,
Like
'cause you don't
Jason
think he's
here
being
loves
true.
Jason loves pro wrestling, so he's like
A big.
you're a dork.
I would
See,
say I'm
I
a dork,
wouldn't
not a
even-
nerd though.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
dork.
I just think that
Yeah.
sometimes you can try and you can hide it a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think that Elon will actually run for president?
No, he can't run for president.
He
And-
doesn't have enough money.
Yeah, he's not rich enough. No, he was born in South Africa.
But Obama was born
Where?
in
According to
Was it
Donald Trump.
Are you gonna throw allegedly somewhere
allegedly.
in here? Otherwise, you're in
Allegedly,
big
no.
trouble.
Where did they say he was born? For a minute?
Donald Trump said he was born in
Yeah,
Kenya.
not they. Excuse me, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
He said he was
Yeah.
born in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do we think Elon Musk is a good or bad person?
Bad. I don't. Like it's like. Do you think? Do I think he has the best intentions for all of humanity? I don't think. I don't think so. But I think he has like he tries to have like big picture ideas that are maybe like trying to be innovative and good for the world
That were stolen.
that were stolen. Yeah. So allegedly.
I
I'm
have
not saying allegedly. I
Yeah.
know they were.
Okay.
I mean,
Tell
I
us
Were they
more.
your
there.
ideas?
Yeah, it sounds like something you wrote in a journal.
I had the idea.
And Elon's
for
like parading your
Tesla.
journal around the SpaceX facilities, and these are where the rockets
Tesla,
came from.
the whole idea of Tesla.
Was you?
And so, what
Was
was in
me.
your words? What is Tesla that he stole?
It's
from
an
your
electric
diary.
car, but it's
Yeah.
so much more than that. And I would
Yeah.
really get into depth
Yeah,
with you guys, but
It's
I don't
like
want
a
to
time
overshadow.
thing.
This is your interview. You know
Oh,
what
we
I
don't
mean?
mind. Go ahead. Explain the ins and outs of
Yeah.
it.
So it's an electric car, but it's so much more. That's exactly what Tesla is.
It is. It's
You
an electric
know,
car, and it has a
It's
big
saving
screen
the
on
world.
It's an
And-
electric
and-
car and an iPad in one.
it. A giant iPad.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
Was the frunk your idea?
Is that his big SUV thing? Silver
No,
thing?
that's the
he's-
front trunk of a Tesla because it doesn't need a space for the engine. It's just a battery in the
Is
bottom.
that a okay?
Well, you would know. You wrote about it.
I'm just curious.
That you're wondering how I knew about
I
the
also
frunk.
was saying that I don't know how to work an iPad earlier.
Yeah, and that was his contribution. He put the iPad.
He
in
put the
car.
iPad in at the very front of
Mhm.
the car. Yeah.
But everything else was me.
Was you,
Mhm.
I believe it.
No
I
questions.
mean, he robs ideas and claims them as his own.
Mm-hmm.
They're not all stolen from me, but that's just a fact.
Originally, it
period.
was Tesla with an L was the whole name of the product.
Okay, Tesla with an L.
Yeah, that was the name of the yeah.
That one took me like a second,
Yeah.
and then
It
I
wasn't
caught on.
good.
It took
Which is
me.
fine,
It took
which
me
is
half
fine.
as long as it took you. So once I caught up, I was.
I didn't
like,
even
it's
get a
gonna-
pity laugh from Davram. for
No,
that,
because I was
but-
trying to observe.
Okay, guys. Plug away.
We've got a show on May 23rd in Washington, D.C. It's going to be a great show. You can get tickets at goodliars.com. We also have a podcast called The Good Liars Tell the Truth, where we are going to be, walking you through this terrible 2024 election and also telling some stories that we've had on the road. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
go
also,
to thegoodliarspod.com and you can get a link to wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
What else?
And where the shirt is at the Good Liars.
Good Liars Store, goodliarsstore.com.
Okay.
But everything's at goodliars.com.
Yeah.
Type in the Good Liars and you guys can figure it out.
Can figure it out.
Can
There's
I
also-
go to one of your shows?
Yeah, come.
Please?
Yeah.
You want to come to DC?
You
wanna come to Nashville?
Here in New York?
Well, we just did like 5 of them here. So we will. We
We
will.
will.
Thanks for the
It'll happen
invite.
again. Yeah, it got lost in the mail. We do everything old school. We send it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so every once in a while.
Yeah.
Snail mail.
Yeah.
If there's an earthquake, something happens.
Yeah.
That's
Stuff.
true. I mean, we're a little bit scatterbrained all over the place because there was a natural disaster, not due to global warming, obviously.
Who knows? Who knows? It was God.
Can't say
Let's
for
just
sure.
be honest. It was God.
It was God.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. And Sloots, I will talk to you next week. Have a good one.